Imagine you are 52, you've worked for 30 years, you've paid taxes, saved what you thought was enough. Then you do the math. You find out you're $400,000 short of retiring comfortably. Now you're stuck. You can't go back. You can't make 30 years of decisions in just 10. This is what millions of Americans are facing now. Today we're going to go through every mistake that led them here. We do this so you don't have to go through it yourself. The Employee Benefit Research Institute just came out with their retirement survey. The results are really scary. 42% of Americans have than $10,000 saved for retirement. 42% of Americans have than $10,000 saved for retirement. This is not 42% of people who do not make a lot of money. This is 42% of all Americans. The people who are in the trouble right now are not the ones who never saved for retirement. The people who are in the trouble right now are Americans in their 50s who did try to save for retirement, but they made big mistakes along the way. These mistakes add up. These retirement mistakes add up quickly. Mistake 1. Not maximizing 401k catch UPS. Let's start with mistake number 1. Not understanding catch-up contributions. Here's what most people don't realize. When you turn 50, the IRS gives you a gift. You are allowed to put a $7,500 per year into your 401k on top of the regular $23,500 limit. That is $31,000 total. Most people have no idea this exists. The ones who do know, they ignore it because they think they cannot afford it. But here is the thing. If you are 50 now and you contribute an extra $7,500 per year until 65, that is $112,500 going in. Assuming a conservative 6% average annual return, that $112,500 grows to roughly $180,000. That is the difference between eating cat food at 75 and actually enjoying your retirement. I am not exaggerating. It gets better. If you are 50 and you max out both your 401k and your IRA catch-up, that is another $1,000 per year for your IRA. You are looking at $32,000 per year going into tax accounts. Over 15 years, that is $600,000 in retirement savings that most people just leave on the table because they did not know it was there. The mistake is not having money. The mistake is not knowing where to put the money you do have. Mistake 2. Taking Social Security too early. Mistake number 2. Claiming Social Security at 62 of waiting. This is where I have to be really honest with you because this one hurts me that I do not like talking about Social Security mistakes. I have to tell you about this one. Now if you claim Social Security at 62, you get about $2,300 a month. This sounds good. This sounds like freedom. But here is what the Social Security Administration does not put in letters. You just cut your Social Security lifetime benefits by 30%. If you wait until your retirement age, which is 67 for anyone born after 1960, that same person gets $3,200 a month. That is $900 more per month, every month, for your life. If you can wait until 70, you get $4,000 a month. That is $1,700 than if you had claimed Social Security at 62. Now do the math. If you live to 85, here is what happens. Claim Social Security at 62, you get $2,300 x 276 months equals $635,000 total. Claim Social Security at 67, you get $3,200 x 216 months equals $691,000 total. Claim Social Security at 70, you get $4,000 x 180 months equals $720,000 total. Wait. That math looks wrong, right? Because if you claim Social Security earlier, you get payments. Here is the break-even. By age 80, the person who waited until 67 has already caught up and passed the person who claimed Social Security at 62. By age 85, they are ahead by $56,000. That gap keeps growing every year you stay alive. The worst part is that most people claim Social Security at 62 because they think they need the Social Security money. Here is the reality. If you are in your 50s right now and you have not built enough retirement savings to wait until 67, claiming Social Security early is not going to fix it. You will just be poor for longer. The people who get Social Security right are the ones who say, how do I bridge the gap from now until 67? Not, how do I get Social Security money out now? There is a difference between these two ways of thinking about Social Security. Mistake 3. Not accounting for healthcare costs. Mistake number 3. Completely underestimating healthcare costs. This one ruins retirement plans than anything else I will tell you. Most people think, I will retire at 65, I will get Medicare and healthcare is solved. That is an idea. Fidelity just released their retiree healthcare cost estimate for 2025. A 65-year-old couple retiring today needs $315,000 to cover healthcare costs throughout retirement. Not for 1 year, for the rest of their life. That is a lot of money. $315,000. That assumes they have average health. If they need long-term care, assisted living, or a nursing home, that number becomes $500,000 or more. Here is where it gets worse. Medicare does not cover everything. They need insurance, dental care, vision care, and hearing aids. Each one of those costs money. A couple I know retired at 65. They thought they were okay. They had $800,000 saved. Then the husband got cancer. 1 year of treatment with Medicare cost them $45,000. They had to go to work at 68 to rebuild their savings. The mistake people make in their 50s is not thinking about healthcare costs in their retirement plans. They focus on living expenses like rent, food, and utilities. Healthcare costs increase a lot after 65. Here is what they should do. Take their health insurance premium, multiply it by 3, add another $500 a month for costs. Assume they need that for 25 years. That is how much they need to save for healthcare. Most people do not do that. Most people get to 65, realize they do not have enough money for healthcare. They are short $150,000 or more. Mistake 4. Keeping too much in cash. Mistake number 4. Holding much money in cash. This isn't one, but it's really bad. By the time people reach their 50s, they've usually seen at 2 or 3 big market crashes. The dot-com bubble, the 2008 crisis, COVID. Most of them have lost money, so they take their money out of the stock market, put it into savings accounts and CDs where it seems safe. A $500,000 portfolio in a savings account earning 4% gives you $20,000 a year. Sounds okay until you remember inflation is around 3% to 4%. You're basically not getting ahead. Your buying power isn't growing. You're losing money in terms, but a $500,000 portfolio in a mix of index funds that usually return 7 to 8% gives you $35,000 to $40,000 a year. That's $15,000 to $20,000 per year every year until you die. Over 20 years of retirement, that difference is $300,000 to $400,000. The mistake isn't investing in the market. The mistake is being scared of the market, pulling out at the wrong time. Now, I'm not saying put everything in stocks. You need some cash. You need money you can easily access. Financial advisors usually say to keep 2 to 3 years of expenses in cash or bonds. So if you spend $60,000 a year, keep $120,000 to $180,000 in assets. The rest, it should be making money for you.
Mistake 5. Not delaying retirement. Mistake number 5 is retiring at 65 when you could delay. Here is a fact that nobody wants to hear. Every year you delay retirement, your quality of life goes up and your risk of running out of money goes down. Mathematically, it is not even close that if you retire at 62 you need to have money to last 35 years. That is a number. If you retire at 70 you only need to cover 25 years. That is 29% money you actually need to have saved. Every year you work you are adding more to your 401k and IRA, giving your existing investments more time to grow, reducing the number of years you need to fund and likely increasing your Social Security benefit. If you are 55 now and you think you need to retire at 65, ask yourself honestly, do you need to retire at 65 or do you want to retire at 65? Because if the answer is I want to retire at 65 and you are $400,000 short, then delaying 5 years might actually make it possible. You could add $150,000 in savings, your portfolio could grow $200,000. Suddenly retirement is not a fantasy anymore. The mistake is treating 65 like it is a birthday deadline when it is actually a number. You can work until 70. You can work time. You can do consulting. You can do something you actually enjoy. The people who retire at 62 because they feel like they have to retire at 62 are the people working part-time at 75 because they ran out of retirement money.
Mistake 6. Not having a withdrawal strategy. Mistake number 6. Not having a plan for how you'll live off your retirement money. This might seem obvious, but trust me, it's not. Most people get to retirement. Think, I have $800,000. My Social Security is $2,500 a month. I'll be okay. Then they start taking out money. They need a roof, so they take $15,000. Their grandkid needs help, so they take $10,000. When the market is down, they sell at a loss. Without a plan, you're almost guaranteeing you'll run out of money. What you need is a withdrawal plan. The standard rule is the 4% rule. You take 4% of your portfolio in the year of retirement and then adjust for inflation each year. For an $800,000 portfolio, that's $32,000 in year one. You adjust that 3% for inflation each year, and statistically your money lasts 30 years. But, and this is important, the 4% rule assumes you have a mix of investments. It assumes you won't panic and sell at a loss. It assumes you're disciplined. Most people aren't disciplined. A better strategy is the bucket approach. You divide your portfolio into 3 buckets. Asterisk bucket 1. 2 years of expenses in cash, emergency fund. Asterisk bucket 2, 5 years of expenses in bonds, money. Asterisk bucket 3, everything in stocks, growth. When you need money, you take from bucket 1 first. When bucket 1 runs out, you refill it from bucket 3 during market years. This way you're never forced to sell stocks when the market's down. The mistake is not having any plan. All people spend time planning a vacation, then planning how they'll fund their retirement.
Mistake 7. Not considering taxes. Mistake number 7. Not planning for taxes in retirement. Here's something that shocks people. Retirement doesn't mean you stop paying taxes. In fact, depending on your income sources, you might pay more in taxes than you did while working. Let's say you have a $1 million portfolio split 50-50ths between a 401k and a Roth IRA. You take $40,000 a year out. You get $2,500 a month in Social Security. You have a small rental property that gives you $12,000 a year. Now $40,000 from your 401k is fully taxable. $2,500 from Social Security might be partially taxable. $12,000 from rental is fully taxable. So you're looking at around $45,000 in income. That income level, you're in the 12% tax bracket. That's $5,400 a year in federal taxes plus state taxes if you live in a place like California or New York. Here's where it gets worse. If you have then $25,000 in income as a single person or $32,000 as a couple, up to 85% of your Social Security becomes taxable. That's not a rumor, that's the law. The mistake is not planning for this. Most people think they'll save $1 million and live off the returns. They don't think about the fact that those returns are taxed. What you should do in your 50s is think about your accounts. Asterisk 401k. You pay taxes when you withdraw the money. Asterisk Roth IRA. You don't pay taxes when you withdraw the money. Asterisk brokerage account. You only pay tax on the gains. Asterisk HSA if you have one. It's really good for taxes. A smart person in their 50s already moves money into Roth accounts while they're still working and in a lower tax bracket than they'll be in retirement. Most people don't do this. Most people just put money in a 401k and then get surprised by the tax bill.
Mistake 8. Lifestyle inflation before retirement. Mistake number 8 is when you suddenly upgrade your lifestyle in your 50s. This one is subtle. It really hurts your retirement plans. People hit their 50s, they feel like they have earned it, and they finally buy the car, they upgrade the house, they start taking annual vacations, they go out to eat more, and they buy nice things. It feels great until they do the math. Realize they have increased their annual expenses by $20,000 to $30,000, which means their retirement number just jumped by $500,000 to $750,000. I knew a guy, let's call him Dave. Dave was on track for retirement at 67. He had about $900,000 saved at 55. Then he bought a truck for $60,000. Not a problem, he thought, because he had the cash. Then he realized he liked the new lifestyle. So at 57 he bought a house with a pool. The mortgage was at $800 a month. Suddenly his annual expenses jumped from $65,000 to $100,000. That meant he did not need $1.4 million anymore. He needed closer to $2 million. At 57 with 10 years until retirement, Dave had a problem. So he worked until 72 instead. The mistake is not having things. The mistake is changing your lifestyle right before you need to lock in your retirement spending. Here's what you should be doing. If you're 50 and targeting retirement at 65, your lifestyle now is your retirement lifestyle. Lock it in. Do not upgrade. Every dollar you add to your expenses today is roughly $25 of additional retirement savings you need. People do not think about that equation. They should think about the retirement savings they need for their lifestyle, for their retirement lifestyle. That is why they should be careful about their lifestyle, about their retirement lifestyle. The reality check. So I want to make one thing clear. If you're in your 50s now and you haven't done things, you're not by yourself. Lots of Americans are in the place. You're also not powerless. You have 10 to 15 years. That's an amount of time that if you're 55 now and you start saving a lot, you can add $300,000 to $400,000 by 65. If you delay retirement to 70, you lower your needs by 25%. If you make the most of your Social Security, you add another $200,000 or more to your lifetime benefits. These aren't changes. They're not get-rich-quick schemes. They're simple decisions. The people who end up okay in retirement aren't the ones who made choices in their 20s. They're the ones who made decisions in their 50s and 60s. That you still have time to make things right. If this video helped you see something that you need to work on, I would really appreciate it if you could do me a favor and click the button. This helps a lot because it makes it easier for other people to find this video. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, now is a time to do it. You should also turn on the notifications so you will know when I post my video that I will see you in my video, the video that I am going to post next, my next video.